And I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the best shows you ever want to see. I pity the fool. I pity the fool don't watch this show. Watch it. It's a great show. And President Clinton would say, well, you know, I tell you right now, like I told you about Obama, I told you Obama was going to win. I was back there with him and Hillary, and I told him, I said, word is born, you're going to win the election. What happened? I'm telling you, you watch this show, you're going to laugh, have a great time, and watch what happened. I'm telling you, watch it. Take my advice. All right? I'll see ya.
It's the Professional Life Advice Show with your host, Will Strickland. Professional Life Advice, where you too can be a professional.
Yeah. Good evening, viewers. My name is Will Strickland. I'm here today from the Professional Life Advice Show, where you too can be professional. My special guest today is Mr. Kobie Brown, a native of East Orange, New Jersey. Kobie, say hello.
Hey, how's everyone doing today, or this evening?
All right, excellent. So, Kobie, we actually first met down in the New Orleans at the Essence Festival.
That's correct.
And you did a seminar. You were talking about your From Fatherless for Fatherhood?
Mm-hmm. Rooted in the Love of Fatherhood was the name of the panel.
Okay,
moderated
excellent.
by Soledad O'Brien.
All right. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about what went on down in New Orleans?
At the festival, there are panels, and in this particular panel, hosted, or pardon me, moderated by Soledad O'Brien. Some of the panelists included Roland Martin, the president of Southern University, I believe his name is Dr. Ronald Mason,
right,
and one other gentleman whose name, unfortunately, I forget at this time, and myself. We're basically discussing what fatherhood meant, what it looked like, what it means, why it matters during the panels, the empowerment panels that they have during the festival.
Right. Now, this whole concept of from fatherless to fatherhood, how did this all start to come about? I mean, was this something that you've been thinking about for a long time, or it just happened? I know you went to Morehouse College.
Mm-hmm.
Did this happen down there? You started coming up with the concept?
It didn't happen in college. It grew out of a discussion I had with a friend from college,
okay,
about him being a father. And along the way, maybe one of the questions I discussed or had for him was what his own relationship, or what his relationship with his own father was like.
Right.
And he explained to me that he had two memories of his father, the first being a birthday present that he received on his 6th birthday, and a pair of pants that didn't fit.
Wow.
And his father's promise to return those pants, and as my friend said, never seeing his father or those pants again, and how he felt as a father if he did the complete opposite of what he experienced in his own life as his relationship with his father.
Wow.
He'd be on the right track.
Well, a lot of this fatherless, this is a really crucial issue because it actually affects the morale of young men that are in high school. The dropout rate is enormous. Look at the men, the recidivism, the men that are, you know, these young boys that are going back and forth into prison. These all different types of things are affecting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really undermines us as a community. It doesn't only undermine men, it undermines women's ability to develop healthy relationships if they don't have healthy relationships with their own father. Right. It undermines the institution of marriage if you're not seeing healthy relationships that you can model as you grow into adulthood. It also destabilizes our community's ability to build a strong economic base. I was fortunate enough to begin my career in entertainment working for Queen Latifah, as you know, and she was a local artist who created a business.
Right, Dana Owens from Irvington.
Yes.
Right.
Created a business and hired people from the community. And those things can't happen in a community where you have weak families, because in a setting where you have so many weak families, the mindset becomes about survival as opposed to success.
Wow.
And we become very individualistic in our thinking, and we don't see the value of helping others or creating a strong foundation of what our commitment should be to others when we don't have a relationship with someone, a father, who should be first and foremost committed to us as his
Right.
children.
Now, you mentioned something briefly about women and the effects of the community with the entire family unit. In your documentary, it's men who are in the documentary.
They're men and women.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And there are times that you've actually talked to women about their different view about the without the missing dad. What were some of the experiences or some of the thoughts from them?
Well, in the film, we have a young woman who has grown up without her father, and she goes through her development as a young lady, a teenager, a young adult, and ultimately her father steps back into her life and wants to walk her down the aisle. That's one of the issues we
amazing.
deal with in the film. We also have a divorced mom of two little girls who talks about co-parenting. We have fathers who talk about raising young girls in co-parenting situations, divorce, or situations where they were never married. And most importantly, we just talk about the relationship between fathers and their children and how to maintain healthy relationships and why it matters.
Right, understand. Now, going back to when you actually got all started, I mean, you know, because at one time, what was your major from college?
I was an English major in college.
Okay.
And have a great appreciation for the narrative. The stories that we tell are very important.
So when you came out of college, is this something that you went right into, or I understand you went into the music field for a while?
Yeah. This is I'm still in music, and this is something that came along the way. I guess it's part of a natural maturation process.
Right.
I felt that the best way to capture an important issue, such as fatherhood and building healthy and stronger families and community, was to tell the story on film.
Absolutely. Now, when you were working with Queen Latifah, name some of the other artists that you worked with. And how long you were with Flavor Unit Management? That's your company? Or?
Records and management.
Okay.
I worked there for about 2.5 years, and then went to go work for a songwriting producing team called Jim and Lewis, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis.
Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, yeah.
And,
they did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't they do something with Morris Day at one time?
They were in a group with Morris Day called The Time.
The Time, that's correct. They're actually going to be performing soon.
Okay.
I saw them, there's a building for them going to be performing.
Okay.
So you have some stuff with you today. You actually bought your documentary?
Yeah, this is the documentary. It's called From Fatherless to Fatherhood. Some of the notable people in the film would be Kirk Franklin.
Oh yeah, Kirk Franklin. There's Kirk Franklin right there. He's actually going to be performing. He has a new venue called the Four Kings. Him and Donnie McClurkin, they're going to be performing in October.
Kirk Franklin, Dr. Steve Perry, Reverend DeForest B. Soaries, and Jeff Robinson, who's a music manager, Deshaun Jawi Morris, who is I guess featured prominently in the docuseries Brick City.
Deshaun Jawi. I actually interviewed him on my show. I saw him down in the neighborhood. He did a documentary called One Life to Live.
Okay.
1 Hour to Live, I'm sorry.
Okay. And in addition to these gentlemen, it's really rooted in the real lives of men and women discussing the importance of fatherhood. So, you know, we have some people who aren't necessarily household names, but they have stories that I think everyone can appreciate and identify with.
Absolutely. So, Kobie, before we go, I want you to give a little bit of advice to the listeners, our viewing listeners, on if you're looking to be a film producer or actually get into the business of filmmaking or documentaries, what's some advice that you would give the listening audience?
The first bit of advice I would give is if you write, to write as much as possible, to constantly write, always be writing, always have ideas that you are executing in terms of your writing. And then the second piece of advice would just go out there and start shooting. Get a camera, get some editing equipment.
Excellent.
And just capture your ideas. Some will be better than others, but the most important piece of advice, which would be third, is just to start.
Excellent. Get out and get busy. Now, on that note, what are some of your immediate goals, like some of your short-term goals and currently some of your long-term goals?
Yes, the short-term goal would be to continue raising awareness around From Fatherless to Fatherhood, not only as a film, but as an ongoing discussion. I think as a community, we need to have a more consistent conversation about the importance of fatherhood.
Correct.
And secondly, I have some other projects that are in various stages of development, from either research or pre-production. And what I want to do with my films, all under the banner of the Kobie Chronicles, is to really recapture a culture of healthy relationships, especially in the African American or Black community, the entire diaspora. Just really representing ourselves and celebrating, some of the highlights of our experience.
Right. Now, You've actually been traveling very extensively with the documentary. Name some of the places you've actually traveled in.
You know, that's kind of hard. I mean, I think my mental Rolodex is actually rolling kind of slow, but
I think you've been, wasn't it Atlanta? You went to Atlanta?
Atlanta at Morehouse College, Pennsylvania at Penn State University. We had a screening, partial screening, pardon me, in Philadelphia that was presented by the mayor, Michael Nutter, pardon me, of Philadelphia. Baltimore, Maryland, Mississippi, New Orleans, of course, for the Essence Music Festival, and it continues. I'm pretty sure I left something out, but
oh, absolutely. So listen, we're sitting here today. I just want to give a shout out to the new Shaquille O'Neal Theater in the heart of Newark, New Jersey. It's the actually Cityplex 12. It's a beautiful theater. We're actually enjoying the leather seats.
amenities, yeah.
We're sitting here in the leather spacious seats that Shaquille O'Neal actually invested in. And at one time or another, we're actually in the process of getting Kobie to have his documentary shown here. So stay tuned, viewers. Perhaps you can see it right here in the heart of Newark, New Jersey. But before we go, so Kobie, tell us exactly, how can we get in touch with you? There's many viewers out there who would love to purchase your documentary and find out more about From Fatherless to Fatherhood and the Chronicles. Tell our viewers exactly how they can reach out to you and purchase the documentary.
Yes, to find out about the program and to purchase the film, you can contact us online at tofatherhood.com, TOFATHERHOOD, tofatherhood.com, and the film again is From Fatherless to Fatherhood.
All right, so Mr. Kobie Brown.
Yes.
I'm sure he's gotten teased in his
Oh, yeah.
tenure
The
about
airports
being
are terrible.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
People sometimes probably call you Kobe Bryant by mistake, I'm sure, because of the name.
occasionally.
Yeah, the name, they both sound similar. But I just want to thank you again for being on a Professional Life Advice show.
Cool.
And hopefully we'll have you back.
Well, it was an honor to be on the Pro-Life Advice Show with Will Strickland.
Excellent. Viewers, stay tuned for more professional life advice where you too can be a professional.
No relation to Rod, right?
Hello viewers, my name is Will Strickland. I'm here today with Jessica from McDonald's on Springfield Avenue. She's just had a big grand opening, actually a re-grand opening and a redesigning for beautiful, luxurious McDonald's in the heart of right here in Newark, New Jersey. Jessica, say hello.
Hi guys, Jessica, I'm aka McBoss Lady.
McBoss Lady, I like that Mc part, just like the McDonald's logo. It's always good food and good times here at McDonald's on Springfield Avenue in the heart of Newark, New Jersey. So Jessica, tell me today, you had a phenomenal event here today. Tell us a little bit about the event.
Today was our grand reopening. We reopened the store back up a month ago, and today we just had a big celebration. We want to show everybody our new look. We remodeled inside and outside with a new drive-thru. So today we had a face painter, a petting zoo for the kids, a balloon artist. We had performances. We did a lot of giveaways. We raffled off a TV, bikes, skateboards, gift cards, Great Adventure tickets, Mountain Creek tickets, Sesame
I
Place
should have been here
tickets.
for the Great Adventure. I want to go.
Yeah, and some gift cards. It was a great event.
Yeah, I actually got a chance. I had an opportunity to pet a real live baby cow. What a phenomenal event. We had Luther Wright also who attended.
Yes, Luther was here. He spoke. We gave away some of his books also, and he signed a basketball and we raffled that off.
And for those of you who don't know who Luther Wright is, he's a former NBA basketball star, first round draft pick, played for the Utah Jazz.
Luther is a longtime friend of ours, and we're glad that he's back around with us.
Absolutely. We had a little music by
Hello,
DJ
viewers.
Forrest.
My name is Will Strickland of Pro-Life Advice, where you too can have a professional lifestyle. I'm here today with Luther Wright.
What's up, Will?
All right, how you doing?
How the brother?
So Big Lou, you got a lot of attributes. They call you Luther Wright. They call you Lou B, DJ Lou B, Big Lou.
Hey, I can only be one person, though. I'm Luther Wright, and I'm very happy to be in this position here on this fantastic TV show, and I'm looking forward to, just getting this interview and giving you what I can give you and let the world know that I'm still alive. That's
All right.
Just want to put that out there.
Now, Lou, I've been checking you out over the years. I remember back in the day you were a star athlete at, Seton Hall.
Seton Hall University,
Okay.
Pirates for life.
All right. What position did you play back at Seton Hall?
Center. I was a highly sought after high school senior, and I chose to go to Seton Hall so that I could play close at home and bring some fame and a little fortune to my hometown and New Jersey. You know, New Jersey stand up. I'm a New Jersey kid.
Now, when you mentioned high school, what high school did you go to? Let's just backtrack.
I went to St. Anthony's High School for my freshman year.
All right. They got a lot of great ball players
Yeah,
coming out of St.
and I
Anthony's.
transferred out of there and went to Elizabeth High School.
And you were born where? North?
Jersey City.
Jersey City.
Yeah, raised in North. Shout out to Brick City.
Brick City in the building.
All day.
All right. So since you got into the basketball world, right after Seton Hall, where did you go from there?
Got drafted in 1993 by the Utah Jazz with the 18th pick of the first round.
Wow.
Yes.
Excellent. How was that experience?
Experience I'll never forget, and I try to share it with as many people as I can. That's something that no one could ever say or take away from me. I was the first round draft pick of the NBA.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that's history right there.
History.
Especially when you're looking at our young black athletes coming out today. Now Luther, I'm gonna just move forward a little bit. When you played with the Utah Jazz, in between that time, have you ever played any ball overseas?
I had a tryout. I went on a tryout tour with some other ball players, and I really didn't like the overseas scene, so I stayed over there for like a month or two, and I came back home and got into my music a little bit. You know, went astray a little bit. Got had addiction issues and things like that. But excuse me, God is good. God is good. I said before, you clean and sober. 8 years. Like, where's my phone? I've been clean for exactly. I turned the phone off, but it's gonna take a minute. Cause I like sharing with people, about my clean time and my battles and struggles with addiction. Because I think if a person hears me tell my story and share, some of the good and the bad and the ugly experiences I had with addiction, I feel like I can be a help to a lot of people.
Excellent. That's very, very, very brave. I mean, that was some of the questions that we were thinking about talking about here in Pro-Life Advice, but we actually wasn't
trying to keep it clean. Huh?
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate because I appreciate you that in that light, because a lot of people all they want to focus on is the negative and the the bad choices that I made and some of the pitfalls that I found myself into. They really want to focus on those things.
Well, here's the thing. To God be the glory. Amen. You're on top right now.
Amen.
Look at you.
Hey, I'm 7'2", so I'm always on top. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Real talk. You right.
So let's move ahead. So right now, some of the things that you're doing. I mean, I saw you on Channel 12 News, and you were with one of the guys on Channel 12. You have a book out now called The Perfect Fit.
Called The Perfect Fit.
Tell our viewers a little bit about The Perfect Fit.
Perfect Fit is a memoir. Shout out to Karen Hunter and Karen Hunter Publishing Company. They helped me put together this fantastic book that I'm sharing with the world. It's just a memoir about my life. The truth about Luther Wright. I don't want to really go into details about the book.
Yeah,
but I recommend that book for people that have a loved one that's struggling with, life issues, life on life term issues. It's definitely a good read, and you will get to know me better. So I want to get one of these and take me home with you.
Now on that note, we're going to take 2 seconds out to give a real shout out about the book. How do they get the book? Is it available at Barnes & Noble? How do they pick it up?
The book is available everywhere. I got them in the trunk, but they're available.
That's the entrepreneur right there.
They're available at Barnes & Nobles, Amazon.com.
Amazon, okay.
You go to my website, www.lw50.com. You could contact me here at the studio, Black Wax. Our website is www.blackwax, that's with 2 X's.com. I'm not giving out my phone number. I see y'all looking at me.
You can be like Mike Jones and give.
No, I ain't
Mike Jones gave out a
my
fake
name Luther Wright. I ain't Mike Jones.
Luther Wright in the house. So listen. Right now, I came to visit you here in Jersey City, and I see you working in the studio. Tell us about your DJ life.
Oh, my DJ life is pretty hectic a little bit. I'm really trying to get, create a vast audience for me to play in front of. I think I'm one of the more skilled hip hop DJs, but I can play club music too. I was actually, when you walked in, working on the club track, and I mean, I do it for fun, but I also do it for, it's like a sport to me. Because I do a lot of tricks and stuff like that, cutting and scratching and things like that nature. Shout out to Antoine Quar. I'm trying to get up with you, bro. But
yeah, he was on my show. Now let me ask you, when you mentioned Antoine Quar a minute ago,
let's roll back a little bit. As far as the DJing, I know you probably got basketball influences from here to California, but what influenced you to go into the music? How did you really start the music and the music era and playing music and DJing?
Since I was 5 years old. I'm a pretty good musician as well. I play lead guitar, bass guitar, play drums.
Wow.
So music has always been like an outlet for me to, escape some of the issues that I had growing up as a child. But
were there any influences like mom or pops? Anybody
Pops
playing
made
instruments?
sure that he kept some instruments in the house. He made sure I practiced daily. My mom had her own gospel group, so I got a chance to
phenomenal.
hear music and learn how to play at an early
Shout out
age.
to moms in the
Shout out to
gospel.
Mom Dukes, you know what I mean? Yeah, I've been around music all my life. My mom used to play Aretha Franklin, Sam Cooke, Otis Redding,
The old school
James
stuff.
Brown, all that classic music that they don't make no more, but it's still classic. So I get a chance to listen to all those things growing up, and then it just became a part of me. I always wanted to do music.
Okay. Now tell us a little bit more about your DJ life. I mean, you have a radio show. You on the air?
I'm on the internet. I have an internet radio show called The Bounce. Big Lou presents The Bounce. I have a record label now. We're working on the logos and things of that nature. Big Lou Records. And I'm here with Black Wax Entertainment Company. We're more than music. We do movies. We do movie scores. We have a full-fledged operating studio here. We have cameras all over the place, the green rooms in the front. Shout out to you, Xavier. Tylon Washington is his name, and he's my partner here at Black Wax Studios. And I just recently started coming here and working, but they kind of like opened their arms to me, and it's been a beautiful thing. I come in and I get some things done. I'm recruiting artists as we speak. I'm doing a few compilations I got coming out. I'm gonna do some gospel things.
Okay.
Some house music and mostly hip hop though. But I'm looking for spoken word artists. I'm looking for poets. I'm looking for actresses and actors and.
Audience, are you getting this?
I'm just
you could be a star with Luther, right?
I'm trying to do it.
All right. So listen, I have a couple more questions before we go. What are some of the things that, if you could just close your eyes and see yourself in the future, 5 years from now, he's closing his eyes, where would you be? If you could just open up your eyes in 5 years from now, where would you be?
I'd be the executive of my official multimedia group. I would have maybe 2 or 3 movies under my belt that I directed.
Wow. Okay.
I probably wrote another book or 2. Probably be a sought after hip hop DJ or radio personality on a bigger scale. Have my own mentoring program, maybe coach some basketball.
Mentoring. Excellent.
Just doing things to give back to my community and show kids that life is not all about sports.
Right.
Other things.
That's what pro-life advice is really about, giving back and giving some advice. And before we go, just give a little bit of advice to the community. If you're obviously an excellent entrepreneur, you have a mindset for business. Just give the audience a little bit of advice on if anyone who's really going into business or looking to be in the music world, what kind of attitude or some of the things you can just tell them what they need to know.
I learned that if you find something you love and you make people pay you for it, you will never have to work another day in your life. So music is my passion, music is my love, and I'm going to make it work for me and put some money in the bank for me.
Excellent. Straight from the heart, from Luther Wright. Luther, thanks for being on the show.
And before I get out of here, I'd like to thank Pro-Life Advice and Will Strickland for having me on the show this evening. I'm about to go home and go to sleep, but I'll stay tuned in. This brother's going places and he's doing big things in the community and he's giving back like myself. Shout out to Tylon Washington and his whole family here at Black Wax Studios. And we out of here. Peace.
All right, Pro-Life Advice, where you too can be a professional. Thank you. Hello viewers, and thank you once again for tuning in to the Pro-Life Advice Show, where you too can have a professional lifestyle. My special guest today is Mr. Larry Hamm from Newark, New Jersey. Say hello, Larry.
Hello, everybody.
All right. Now, Larry is a one-of-a-kind person out of Newark, New Jersey, because he's done so much in the streets of Newark. He's a community activist, he's a mentor, a teacher, a trainer, and he's also a professional in Newark. Larry, so tell me, as a youth, tell me a little bit about yourself when you grew up.
Okay. Well, I grew up here in Newark, New Jersey. I lived for years on Ridgewood Avenue.
Ridgewood, okay.
In the Central Ward of Newark. My father passed away when I was 4, so we moved up on 12th Street between 16th and 18th.
Yeah, I know.
Across the street from Westside Park. I went to public schools. I went to South 17th Street schools, grade K through 8. And I went to Arts High School, where I graduated in 1971.
Oh wow, at Arts High. So in Arts High School, I'm sure you must have had a trade. What were you doing?
I was a music major at Arts
Music
High.
major?
Yes.
Did you play an instrument or you sang?
Yes. Well, I played a few instruments. Actually, I had learned to play the guitar in elementary school, but not in school. I wanted to learn to play the guitar, so after my father passed away, we went to live with my grandparents. My grandfather played the banjo, so he taught me that a little bit, but then he took me to a guy who was actually a professional sign maker, but he gave music lessons in the back of his sign shop. And I told my grandfather I wanted to learn to play the guitar, so he took me down there, and that's where I learned to play the guitar and learned to read music. So when I was in the 8th grade at South 17th Street School, my teacher urged me to go take the test to get into Arts High School. I didn't want to go to Arts. I wanted to go to West Side with all my friends. So
yeah, I was about to say, you live right across the street from West Side, virtually.
That's right. That's where I wanted to go, but they were trying to rehabilitate me because I was kind of bad in the 8th grade. I got suspended from school and everything.
We've all gone through that. That's just,
right.
Boys got to be boys.
That's right. So in the spring of '67, I took the test for Arts High School, and it was a cinch because I could read music, you know, from learning how to play the guitar.
Okay, excellent. Now, Larry, moving throughout your youth, you were telling me earlier, we were talking a little bit basically before we got started here about how you used to walk past and there were some people you used to see on the street, and what did you call these people here?
Well,
what was going on?
I was talking to you about my political development, how I came to be a political activist, and those folks who know the streets of Newark know that Arts High School sits on what is now Martin Luther King Boulevard, but was then High Street.
Right, I remember High Street for a long time.
That's right, and back in the late 60s, Amiri Baraka and the Committee for Unified Newark had their headquarters on the corner of High Street and Springfield Avenue, right where St. Benedict's is now.
Okay, pause right there. My eye was bothering me. So we're going to pick right back up right there and say right where St. Benedict's is.
Okay.
So Larry, again, we were talking a minute ago about how you basically you were walking back and forth. How did you become a political activist?
Well, I guess you can say really the rebellion of 1967 is what actually put me on the path, because I grew up in a family that really wasn't very political, and we didn't talk a lot about political issues and stuff, but when the Newark riots, what's called the Newark riots, happened in the summer of 1967.
67. Okay.
Right, that began some discussions in my family about issues of race and so on and so forth. But also, on my way to Arts High School every day, I used to pass the headquarters of Amiri Baraka and the Committee for Unified
Yeah, he's
Newark.
another political activist in Newark, New Jersey.
That's right. He was located on the corner of Springfield Avenue and High Street. In fact, they used to call the headquarters there 502 High Street.
Okay.
502, but its formal name was Hikalu Umoja, which means House of Unity.
Wow.
Right next to there, they had a store. The store was called Nayumbi Aujima, which is House of Cooperative Economics.
Okay.
And I used to go to school every day, and the members of that organization would be standing out in front of the headquarters. You know, I didn't know anything about them, but I know they looked different because they were wearing African clothes.
African kente cloth and so on.
Right, the brothers were wearing dashikis and everything. So I used to pass them, and they used to say, "Habari gani?" I didn't know what to say because I didn't know what that was. They were speaking Swahili.
Right.
So the people, you know, my friends would say, "Well, who are those people?" I said, "I don't know. They're the Habari Gani people," you know. But eventually, as a result of my being appointed to the Board of Education at the age of 17, becoming the youngest voting school board member in the history of the United States, I eventually met Amiri Baraka. I was appointed to the board by Mayor Ken Gibson, who was the first black mayor in the city of Newark and the first black mayor of a major East Coast city in the United States.
Back then.
And after meeting Amiri Baraka, I learned more about his organization. I learned to speak a little Swahili.
I'm sure you know what Habari Gani meant after that.
That's right.
All right.
So,
let's just tell the audience, what does Habari Gani mean?
well, Habari Gani is Swahili for how are you, what's the news, so to speak. And this comes up during Kwanzaa.
Yeah, I've heard several.
That's right. During Kwanzaa,
Principles of Kwanzaa.
That's right. We celebrate the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, and on each day of Kwanzaa, you would say Habari Gani,
Right.
and then the reply would be one of the 7 principles, whatever day that was on. So if it was the first day, if I said to you Habari Gani, you would say to me Umoja Habari Gani, because that's the first principle of Kwanzaa. So I learned a lot from Amiri Baraka in the Committee for Unified Middle.
So at that point, his organization and Amiri was almost like a mentor to you at that point.
Oh yeah, they were definitely, he and members of his organizations were mentors to me and played a major role in my political development. I mean, the first speeches of Malcolm, the first recordings of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King that I ever purchased, I purchased from Nyumba ya Ujamaa. The first black books written by black authors for black people, you know, I bought from that bookstore. I bought my first dashiki from that store. So I was very much the influence. In 1972, after I attended the National Black Political Convention, I was probably the youngest voting delegate, or one of the youngest voting delegates at the National Black Political Convention that was held in Gary, Indiana in 1972. I asked Amiri Baraka to give me an African name then, and he gave me the name Adimu Chunga.
Okay.
Yes, and so I never legally changed my name, but most of my friends actually know me by my African name. Yes.
Okay. Now let's bring it up to speed a little bit. I mean, in the city of Newark, I've seen several people with the People's Organization for Progress. Some of you guys out there call it POP, but
Right.
that's the new term right now, POP. But it really is the People's Organization for Progress. Tell me a little bit about the People's Organization for Progress and the mission that you guys are on and your struggles and some of the things that are going on currently with you.
Right. The People's Organization for Progress is a grassroots organization that we formed in 1983. So POP is more than 28 years old now.
Wow, it's been going for a while.
Right, and it's funny because many of us started as high school student activists. That's how I got on the Board of Education. I led a walkout at my school and a sit-in at the Gateway Hotel, the same Gateway that's across the street from Penn Station.
Wow.
200 students sat in there in March of 1971 to try to bring the board and the union back to the negotiating table so that they would end the strike and we could graduate. And
I can understand why you wanted to graduate.
Right, and it was as a result of that sit-in at the Gateway, that's how I met Ken Gibson, and I guess he was somewhat impressed with me, and that led to my appointment to the Board of Education before I was even old enough to vote, because I graduated arts high at 17, so you couldn't legally vote until you were 18. So we had been student activists. During the time I was on the board, we had a student organization called the Newark Student Federation that was a citywide student organization. But then we got, my term on the board was up. It was only a 3-year term. I went back to college. Many of my fellow activists, we went to college. And then after we went to college, came home, got married, had families, we still wanted to be activists. So we said, well, let's form an organization. And that's how POP came into being, officially formed in August of 1983. And to put it in a nutshell, the mission of the People's Organization for Progress is to work for racial, social, economic justice and peace. And we're an activist organization. That is, you know, we not only talk about the problems, but we actually try to organize and mobilize and bring people into the streets to do something about the problem.
Now, here lately, I've seen several people downtown Newark, like towards the, I believe it's like Market Street area, and also up by Essex County College, protesting, and I'm almost certain they're protesting for jobs. Is that right?
That is correct. On June 27th of 2011, the People's Organization for Progress started a daily campaign for jobs, peace, equality, and justice. And this campaign consisted of daily protests, right where you said at the intersection of West Market Street and Springfield Avenue. right by the Abraham Lincoln statue across the street from Essex County College. We're there Monday through Friday from 4:30 to 6. On Saturday, we go down to Broad Market from 12 to 2, and on Sunday, we come back to West Market in Springfield from 2 to 3. So we've been doing this every day since the 27th of June. Today would be 344 consecutive days of protest.
Wow.
Yes, and we have vowed to continue this at least for 381 days because that was the length of the Montgomery bus boycott.
Wow, I was about to ask you that
That's
question.
right.
What was the time frame that you guys,
That's
and
right.
why was he doing it?
Right,
Okay.
right.
So that answered my question.
That's right, because we always try to connect what we're doing to our people's historical movement for freedom, justice, and equality in this country. So we said, if our forebears, who had much less to work with than we have today, could go 381 days.
Economically and politically.
That's right, we should be able to go 381 days. And I think we're going to make it. July 11th will be the 381st day.
Okay, well, you hear that, audience? Anyone who want to help participate, July 11th, you have from between now and July 11th to get out there and support the People's Organization for Progress. And one thing I want to mention, Larry, briefly, one thing about a voice, whether people want to believe in it or not, everything, going back, way back into the caveman days when they used to just beat on a drum, that voice goes somewhere.
That's right.
It goes out into the air, and people hear it, and it's a resounding voice. And believe it or not, since you guys been protesting, there's been more jobs.
Yeah.
So there is a coincidence there. There is a coincidence.
Well, I'm glad to
all
hear
of a sudden the economy
that.
is doing a little bit of turnaround, and actually the unemployment rate has gone down. I just wanted to mention
Okay,
that.
all right,
So
all right.
that's a true proven fact.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that, and we need more jobs. Let me just say quickly the major demands that we have for this protest. One, we want a national jobs program to put the 26 million unemployed and underemployed people in this country back to work with jobs at a living wage. We want an end to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the $4 trillion that's being spent on war.
I was about to say they're spending a lot of money.
Right, spend it on housing, healthcare, education, and jobs. We want to protect workers' rights to unionize and collectively bargain. We want a moratorium on home foreclosures. We want universal health care for all. We want to stop the privatization and destruction of public schools. And we want to make college educational affordable for our young people.
Absolutely.
And end student debt. So there are other demands, but those are the core
Those are the core key things that you guys are on a mission for. And let me be honest with you. You hit home with one of them, and that's the college tuition. I mean, right now it's just skyrocketing. There's a lot of students out there right now who's listening. I'm sure they want to go to college. What the books alone? I mean, come on. The books alone cost you maybe $900 to $1,000 just with the books. I had to go through that with my son.
Yes, yes. It's a disgrace that in a country this wealthy that we are placing such a heavy financial burden on our young people right at the beginning of their careers.
Correct.
I mean, they face one of the bleakest job markets that we've ever had in this. Excuse me.
Still grasp that same energy. So Larry, tell me a little bit. You were talking a minute ago about the struggle and you guys' mission regarding you're protesting for jobs. You're protesting your major mission. You're protesting for better college tuition and so on and so forth. One of the things I want to mention about that tuition thing is you're absolutely right. By the time kids get out of school, some of them, I mean, my sister went to school to be a dentist. She's working at UMGMJ now. She could owe anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000.
That's a lot of money.
And if you can only imagine the weight on their shoulders, knowing that they're going into maybe sometimes, if they're lucky, a $20,000 or $30,000 job, owing $100,000 in student loans.
It's crazy.
It's just a big burden for a lot of these young kids to adjust to, and it's something that needs to be addressed by not only Congress but by the United States altogether.
Right. Right now, there's a bill in Congress that would prevent the doubling of the interest rate on student loans. right now, if they don't pass this bill fairly soon, interest rates on the student loans are going to double, and that's going to make the debt even bigger. The largest form of debt today in the United States is the debt from student loans. It has exceeded credit card loans. It's almost $1 trillion.
Who knew this? I mean,
Right.
I had no idea.
It's a very serious problem. It's so serious that Congress had to address it. They couldn't ignore it anymore. So we must find a way to offer these young people some relief. It defeats the whole purpose of going to college. If you get a decent paying job, say you make $50,000, you start off with a $50,000 a year job, you're going to have to pay a student loan of maybe $900 to $1,000 a month.
Right, okay.
That defeats the whole purpose of going to college.
Reduces your salary.
That's right. You could have ended up with more money had you not gone to college and been lucky enough to get a job in the post office.
So ultimately, at the end of the day, it appears that a lot of these students come out and they're working for the government.
That's right. Or they're working for the banks.
Right.
Whomever they're getting
Manage
loans
these loans
from.
through. That's correct.
Right.
All right, we're going to move along. Just we're going to talk a couple of things. More recently, on WBLS, they announced the other day that Mr. Larry Hamm here was nominated for one of the Steve Harvey Hoodie Awards. And I actually have the Steve Harvey Hoodie Awards book here. It's sponsored by quite a few sponsors. I'm not going to mention their names right now. But Larry, tell us a little bit about this. I know that's just phenomenal for you to be nominated for the community activist.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it was as much a surprise to me as it was to you. Okay. There were a group of people on my job. One of my co-workers, Florence, who unbeknownst to me decided to make her project my nomination for the Hoodie Awards, and I'm very grateful for Florence and the other folks that worked with her on this. But it all came very much as a surprise to me, and I was honored to be nominated for the Hoodie Awards, and I'm actually still waiting to see what the outcome is. Okay. What the outcome is going to be.
Well, I'm sure you'll do well. I mean, Larry Hamm is well acquainted with the likes of Reverend Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and so on and so forth. They all know him like on first name basis. I can tell you that. So, Larry, we're running a little short here. I want to mention a couple of things before we get out. What's some of the advice that you can give to the community? I mean, there's a lot of people out there who want to be activists. There's a lot of people who want to give their voice and want to speak out. What's some advice you can give to some young students or some college students or just people in general who might have this calling to be an activist or might have a calling or an urge or a sense of pride that they want to say something about what's going on in their community?
Well, the first thing I want to say is don't defeat yourself. You know, things are so difficult today in the community, financially, socially, and so many other ways, that a lot of people become despondent. They think it's hopeless. They think things can't change. But that's the biggest myth, and the myth that those in power want us to believe, that we can't change things, that we can't make a difference. The whole history of African Americans in the United States goes against that. Correct. We're the people who went against the grain when the odds were against us. They said we would be slaves forever. We fought against slavery, and slavery eventually ended. George Wallace said Jim Crow segregation would exist forever. Dr. King, Rosa Parks, and others.
Good afternoon. My name is Will Strickland. I'm here today from Professional Life Advice, where you too can have a professional life. I'm here today with Earl Best, a.k.a. the Street Doctor. Earl?
How you doing, brother?
Good, good, good. So, Street, you've been at this a long time. You've saved many souls. You saved many lives. You've been mentoring. You've been teaching, instructing. I understand you wrote a book. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your challenges that you had in the streets of Newark, New Jersey, and the community, and things that you're doing currently.
Well, first of all, thank you for the interview. I've been doing this now. This is my 11th year. Okay. I started in 2000.
Wow, okay.
And it's just, if it was a job, I would have been quit. But this is my mission. And all the glory go to God.
Right.
Yes, I have a book out. The book is called The Fingerprint, Identifying the Real You. This book is an autobiography of me.
Wow.
Where I've been, where I'm at now. And this happened this came from a quote that I heard. I complained that I ain't have no shoes until I met the man who didn't have no feet.
Okay. All right, you've actually done some other things on television. I think I saw you on TV1 with Jaheim. They did and Mayor Booker. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that was the Brick City. They had a Brick City segment. This was some years ago. And what happened was, it was good. I got great exposure, but it was a scene when I took the kids to Seaside Heights.
Right, I remember that when you took
which
the
is
kids
on
down to
Father's
Seaside
Day,
Heights.
and Father's Day is coming again now.
That's correct.
And we leaving again the 17th.
Oh, you're gonna take the kids out on Father's Day?
Yeah, this is a tradition now.
Okay.
Every Father's Day, all the kids who don't have fathers, we take them to Seaside Heights.
Okay. Hit the button for me. So, Street Doctor, tell me. I know you guys do something annually. You take the kids out and take them on a bus ride. Tell me about it.
Every Father's Day, all of us get together, my friends of the Street Doctor, and what we do, we take these kids that don't have fathers, we take them to Seaside Heights. And we go in different hoods, different locations that's a lot of blight, drugs, gangs, you know, all the stuff that's going on here. And what we do, we go and we target these kids and getting them out of here, because we know that traveling boosts the conscience and showing them another look.
This is excellent stuff. So, Street Doctor, tell me, how do you raise money for this? I know there's a lot of viewers out there who really care about the community, care about the children who are fatherless, and some of these fathers who are actually in and out of prison. How do you raise money? Tell us how we can raise money, how we can reach out to you.
This is what we do. I got like flyers and stuff. Okay. And what I do is, my number is 973-600-0877.
Say that one more time, a little louder.
973-600-0877. And people who want to sponsor a kid or who want to contribute or get in a bus, because don't forget, we have to get a bus to get them there. Plus they have bands. The bands, they cost money. Plus we feed them. So people donate and we take all the money and we make it happen. And we're talking about like 75 kids. The last time we went, we took over 100 some kids. We had 3 buses, but I had a lot of help then. But since the economy done dropped, every little bit counts.
Okay, you can also reach Street Doctor through me at the Professional Life Advice Show. Again, my name is Will Strickland. Thank you for tuning in and joining us here with the Street Doctor, helping, supporting, mentoring, teaching, and training the community right here in Newark, New Jersey. Thanks again, Street, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right.